Hello, 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 my fellow One Piece fans. We're gonna get started here. This is Mugiwara Vids, hopefully starting a wonderful new channel of amazing One Piece content for all you One Piece fans out there besides myself. And yeah, I'm gonna be doing chapter reviews to start this journey of mine off. And if people are interested in these chapter reviews, I'll start doing some discussion videos and anything else that people might request or just want to see me babble on about for a little bit. So, with that being said, I'm going to get started here. Chapter 869, not going to start in Chapter 1. Seems a little silly considering how far into the series we are. So, yeah, start Chapter 869, the most recent chapter of One Piece. And with that being said, let's go. So, I'm going to be doing cover pages, or cover stories. For those of you who don't know, we just started the Grand Fleet cover stories section here, so it's going to be doing side stories on all of the Grand Fleet pirate crews. With that being said, number 1 was Cavendish. His was 5 chapters. I'm assuming they're all going to be the same. And if you're as big a fan of Bartolomeo as I am, you're pretty happy because this week the Barto Club has made their first appearance, and they are rolling into the dock here with a big Luffy on the front of their ship. If you haven't seen it in the anime and in the manga chapters, Luffy is just the entire bow of their ship with his shit-eating grin. It's absolutely gold. And there's this guy talking to a Den Mushi who looks pretty frightened about their appearance. But hopefully they're just trying to have a good time and they're not gonna burn the place down or anything. But if you learned anything about the Colosseum, apparently Bartholomew was pretty mean to civilians, which is funny because that's not something Luffy senpai would ever do. But who knows? Maybe he has seen the light after finally actually meeting Luffy and will no longer just be raiding towns and pillaging villages. But that being said, let's actually get into the chapter here. And this chapter starts off again. If you remember the end of the last chapter, it was Beijing going into his big castle, or big father form, as Tekken 101 likes to call it, Big Daddy. But we're not gonna go there right now. So he goes into big father form. Big Mom is screaming her head off, none too pleased about what Beijing has done. And that is the first panel here, or that's the only thing worth mentioning in the first panel. So the Tamate Mako box, which is something that is really interesting. If anybody remembers from the Fishman Island arc, way back right after the time skip, in the Fishman Island arc, the Tamate Mako box was opened and replaced. The treasure inside it was replaced with a bomb. I'm not sure if a lot of people remember that, but there is supposedly still an explosive in it. So this guy, I can't remember his name right now, it's escaping me, but he has found the box, and he's trying to open it while there's all this chaos going around him. He sticks Katakuri's mochi in his ears to prevent him from hearing Big Mom scream. And so he's got the box and he's running away. As all this is happening, everybody is running into the castle, freaking out, with the exception of Luffy, who is all starry-eyed after seeing Beijing turn into this giant castle. So he's just, boom, eyes lit up, so happy about what's going on, loving the entire thing. Everyone else, mind you, is freaking out. Brooke is just running away. And as they're running, Gastino, or Caesar as you would like to call him, or most people would like to call him, has a brulee snatched off his back by Katakuri. Katakuri, mind you, is the only one in this family, the Charlotte family, who seems to be doing any real leg work. Right after he snatches her off, he's got his rustling his jelly beans there, or his jimmies, as some people would like to joke about. But then he just lights this dude up. I don't know who he is. I think he's an unnamed fire tank pirate character, but he just lights him up, hits him in the back. This dude's like, ugh, dying all over the place, not having a good time. And then Smoothie snatches up Nami. Daifuku gets Carrot. Chopper is grabbed by the oven guy, and Luffy is just seeing all this happening. He's none too pleased. But then it cuts to an awesome scene, of course, going back to Sanji, who for some reason is still standing on this table that he's been standing on for 3 chapters. I don't know why he hasn't moved from this table, but he's standing on it, staring at Judge, and he just gives Judge, points over his shoulder, yo, get in the castle, I know I hate you, but you're still family kind of thing going on. Or at least that's how I'm interpreting it. And so Judge just glares at him back, gritting his teeth, because he knows that if he doesn't go in that castle, he is royally effed. And then all the Vinsmokes then whip out their canisters, and if you don't know, again, if you haven't read the chapter, in the very next page you'll find out anyways, the canisters turn in their raid suits, and it goes to panels of them all putting on their raid suits. One, which is essentially hentai of Rage putting her raid suit on, is just like this, something that looks a lot like semen, just like going all over her as she's half naked, and it's just ridiculous. But welcome to anime manga land. Then all of Sanji's brothers are putting on their raid suits as well, a little distracted by the whole Reiju thing, you can tell. They put on the raid suits and they get going to town here. After putting on the raid suits, there is this really cool double panel spread of them, all wearing the raid suits, and they look like Power Rangers, as many people have been joking about. And it's pretty cool artwork in this chapter so far, I'm not going to lie. It's very detailed. Oda does a great job with it. Then there's just a scene after all of them were nabbed, Nami, Chopper, Carrot. The Vinsmokes actually are the ones who come and save them, and that is something that I thought was pretty cool. I wasn't actually expecting them to be so immediately willing to help the Straw Hats. Then there's a cute little scene for all the Nami-Sanji shippers, where Sanji catches Nami. She's smiling back at him all happy, and then it cuts to this really small panel of Pudding, who looks jealous as fuck, and it is great. Luffy is obviously real happy about it. And then it goes back to the Tamate Mako box, which this guy's about to open it. And then Big Mom screams after he puts his mochi in and still can't handle it. It knocks the box off Whole Cake Plateau. Now this is something that I think is pretty interesting, because the box is now at least out of the hands of anybody who could immediately open it. It's either, we don't know what's going to happen to it yet, because the chapter obviously doesn't cover it, but it falls either into the ocean, just down onto like the land somewhere where any stranger could pick it up and potentially just like blow up all of Whole Cake Island, or I guess those are the only real two options right now. But so it's just something to think about, like what's going to go on with this box, and I think it's pretty. I think it's gonna. I don't know. I think it's gonna land on the ground. Someone's gonna find it. I don't really see it falling in the water, but who knows? We'll find out. Cuts to Beige shooting all of the cannons of his castle at Big Mom. Then Sparrow throws a candy wall. It looks exactly like Mr. Three's wax fruit wall, or candle wall, not candy wall. And confrontation between Sparrow and Beige, yelling at each other, talking smack. And then Beige tries to fire again at Big Mom, and the cannons blow up. Cannons blow up because Mochi has been stuffed into all of them by Katakuri. Again, Katakuri, the only one in the Charlotte family who's really pulling his weight right now. He's such a cool character, though. Gotta love Katakuri. I'm totally cool with him making things miserable for the Straw Hats, at least for a little bit, because, you know, they're going to come out on top. So the castle is surrounded, everybody's inside, and things are not looking good. Brule is finally reunited. There's a little panel of her talking to Katakuri. And he's like, they sure did make a mess of you, Brule, didn't they? She's like, I'm the victim here. It's like, well, you know, you're still gonna, after all the things they did with your mirrors, it's not looking too good for you, Brule. And then inside Big Father, everybody's talking. Luffy's all excited. Oh, wow, that's amazing, Beige. I didn't know you could turn into such a huge castle. And he's like, it is not the time to be talking about that. We're surrounded, and if we don't do something fast, we are royally screwed here. And then, at the very end of the chapter, as they're trying to come up with something to do here, Big Mom climbs Big Father, and it looks like she is almost like taking a bite out of his ear or something. But Beige, for those of you who are not aware, all the damage done to Big Father is damage that he takes personally. So he collapses to the ground, bleeding out of the face. Everybody's freaking out. And Big Mom ends the chapter by screaming, "Show yourselves, you bastards. You did try to betray me, Beige. You did? Dun dun dun." So Big Mom, none too pleased, pretty pissed, and the chapter ends. So with that being said, this chapter is a lot going on. People being nabbed and then immediately rescued, everybody getting into Big Father, and then this catastrophic thing happened to Vijay. Obviously, he's collapsing on the ground, and nobody really knows what's going to happen. All in all, I think it was a pretty good chapter. The artwork was really good. My only complaint is that I don't want to say it was rushed, but there was parts of it that I really wish they drew out a little bit longer. I understand it's the manga, and the anime is probably going to make it like 6 episodes for everything that happens in one chapter because they love to draw things out. But it's just, I don't know. I wish some things would have been drawn out a little longer, but that's alright. The artwork was good. There is actually this funny little panel when they turn in the Vinsmokes turn in all their raid suits when there's like a music like typesetted into the actual manga page. And that's pretty funny because it's going to be like a Soga King thing, I'm assuming at least. There's going to be like a song going along with them transforming. Hopefully they make it like really close to like the Power Rangers theme song. Obviously not enough so copyrights could get in the way, but just because that would be a really funny parallel that they could draw. Because they all put on these ridiculous suits and it's a pretty good time. But chapter's pretty good. A lot of action. No huge story revelations, which is one thing that I guess could have been a little bit better about the chapter, but you can't always have story revelations, so it's fine if you ask me. I don't think that the Tamate Mako box is going to be forgotten. I think that is going to be something that is going to be pivotal to this arc. Quote me right now, pivotal. It might blow up and bring Whole Cake Plateau down on itself because, think about it, there's no way for the Straw Hats to get out right now. Unless the snails from the Vinsmokes like scale the thing, they're all trapped up there. They don't have Roulette. They can't use her mirrors anymore. So they're up a creek right now, so to speak. And it's going to be interesting to see how they get out of it. But the chapter was good. It wasn't super. It hasn't been as good as recent chapters, so I'll give it a 4 out of 5. Then, if I had to pick, or an 8 out of 10. But could have been a little bit better. But the pacing was. I think the pacing of the chapter was just a little bit too fast. If I actually had to pin it down to my biggest complaint about it. But all in all, I thought it was a good chapter. Not too much to go off there. But yeah, like, comment, subscribe. Preferably subscribe and comment, obviously. I love to hear y'all's comments about these. Whatever their thoughts are on the chapter, what they think is going to happen with the Tamate Mako box. I think that's something that is really interesting. If anybody thinks Big Mom is going to die, I don't really think she's going to die in this arc, but hey, give me your theories. I love to hear them, love to read them. And with that being said, see ya. This is Mugiwara Vids, signing out.